Hello, sunshine. Hello, world. Hello, children. Hallowed be thy name. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you fear. For the quietest voice is often the one that carries wisdom of the truth. When the mirror turns, and the mirror begins to look upon you, will you stand in the light, or hide among your shadows? I have no throne except my love and mind with reason. I wear no crown except my heart and will with meaning. I carry no armor except the word and body with purpose. Only these hands, only this voice, only another smoke and sleepless night. Holy roller, stand not for glory alone. Stand not for praise from others. Stand because the wisdom of truth found you. Long before the world knew your name, God had it already written upon the stars. You may read these words and dream, yet never hear the song and image. For the deepest music is carried not by beats or rhymes, but like breath before words by mood and tone. Between the notes, I ask not for forever. Only one evening, one flower, one song, one woman, one moment that belongs to heaven and earth together. Some gifts are precious because they are given only once. Not because love fades, but because beginnings are holy. The sands divide time. The waves carry the sands of yesterday away into the future of now. Still something like a dream returns you to me. The stars bow their hearts in contemplation, and every cloud of mind is told. Do not be ashamed of your rain and tears. Morning is already on its way to scorn. Even the moon must show her lesser light. Yet it teaches the night by speaking to the stars about the day. Have you ever seen the moon in the middle of the afternoon? How it chases the sun without fear. Then something like a child whispers, "This is the first boon." I would love you too. Let's imagine joining hands and mourning together, looking up as we laugh and laughing as we cry, embracing one another beneath the heavenly sky. Until that day and until that fateful night, I will keep singing in my heart, giving thanksgiving praise. The measure inside the observer. Size is relative. It does not exist by itself. The same can be said of speed, distance, heat and cold, smell, sound, and movement. Each of these depends upon a relationship. Nothing smells unless there is a nose to smell it. Without ears, there is no sound as we experience it. Without something capable of sensing vibration, what meaning can movement truly have? We cannot step outside the observer and examine reality from nowhere. Every description we make already appears within observation. The observer and what is observed belong to the same experience. A dream reveals this clearly. When I dream that I am standing in a forest, I am not physically standing among trees. The forest, the body walking through it, and the one witnessing it all arise within the same dream. The observed world and the observer are expressions of one reality. Perhaps waking life is not identical to a dream, but the analogy points towards something important. Everything we know already appears within experience. We cannot reach beyond experience to compare what we perceive with reality entirely outside perception. Even when we say what something is, we have not truly said what it is. We call something a tree. Then we say the tree is made from wood, cells, molecules, atoms, and smaller structures. Yet every explanation only replaces one name with several more names. We continue describing what one thing is made from by referring to other things, but the essence itself remains beyond the description. We name reality without finally capturing it. Imagine that a grain of sand hovering above my hand is actually the earth. It has continents, oceans, mountains, living beings, a crust, a mantle, an atmosphere, and a magnetic field. It has everything necessary for its world to exist. Its inhabitants are perfectly proportioned to the planet upon which they live. Its sun and moon are proportioned to that same reality. From my perspective, the earth appears extremely small because I am enormous in comparison with it. Now shrink me until I am 10 times smaller than that same grain of sand. Suddenly it towers over me like a mountain. What has changed? The world has not changed. I have changed in relation to it. When I was larger, I called it small. When I became smaller, I called it large. Smallness and largeness were never contained within the grain itself. They arose through comparison. A cup appears small because of the size of my body. Shrink me below the size of the cup and it becomes immense. The cup remains what it was. Only the relationship changes. This is why I question whether anything is truly small or large in itself. If everything upon the grain of sand earth exists in the correct proportion, then from inside that world nothing would appear miniature. Its people would not walk around thinking they were microscopic. Their measurements would arise from their own bodies, surroundings, instruments, and relationships. From their perspective, their earth would simply be earth. However, this thought leads to another question. Could such a world truly function if everything were merely reduced in size? Scientific understanding tells us that gravity, atomic structure, atmospheric behavior, heat, pressure, and other physical conditions do not necessarily remain identical when scale changes. Scaling a world down is not as simple as shrinking a picture. Different forces become dominant at different scales. That scientific answer matters. It explains how physical models currently describe the relationships between mass, distance, energy, and structure. But it does not completely settle the philosophical question I am asking. I am not merely asking whether our present Earth could be mechanically reduced to the size of a grain of sand while preserving every known physical law. I am asking whether size itself exists absolutely, or whether it only appears through relationship. If the grain is Earth, then it is Earth. Its entire reality belongs to its own scale. Its inhabitants, atmosphere, layers, sun, moon, and surrounding cosmos all exist in the proportions required by that world. Calling it tiny only makes sense from the perspective of something larger standing outside it. But there may be no final outside. The Earth does not exist alone. Remove the sun and it is no longer the Earth we know. Remove the moon and its tides, rhythms, movements, and history change. Remove the other planets and the gravitational relationships of the solar system change. Remove the stars, the surrounding universe, or space itself, and we are no longer speaking about the same reality. Everything participates in everything else. Every planet, every moon, every star, every brown dwarf, every invisible structure, and even the space between them belongs to the total arrangement. Things are not merely scattered objects that somehow ended up beside one another. Each thing exists through relationships with countless other things. Reality operates with an extraordinary precision. Everything is what it is through its size, movement, composition, rotation, orbit, location, and relationship to the whole. It resembles a machine only in the sense that every part participates in a greater order, although reality is far more profound than any machine human beings could construct. A machine is assembled from separate parts. Reality may only appear to contain separate parts. We speak of the Earth, the sun, the moon, the planets, the stars, and space as though each were an independent object. Yet perhaps these are divisions created by the mind so that the whole can be discussed piece by piece. The names help us think, but they can also conceal the unity beneath them. Modern physics describes gravity through the curvature of space-time rather than space simply pressing downward upon objects. Mass and energy shape space-time, and that geometry influences how objects move. That is the scientific language. Symbolically, however, I sometimes imagine space itself pressing upon form, with greater bodies participating in greater pressures and relationships. I understand that this symbolic image is not identical to the scientific model. I do not need one to destroy the other. They are different ways of approaching the mystery. Scientific language measures relationships within observable reality. Symbolic language explores what those relationships may reveal to consciousness. The danger begins when either language claims to have exhausted what reality is. We must name things in order to speak about them, but every name turns reality into an object of thought. The word is never the thing itself. The concept is never the whole reality. The map does not contain the living territory. Ultimately, unity ends in nothing. I do not mean empty space. I do not mean a vacant container waiting to be filled. I do not mean the ordinary absence of objects. I use nothing as a pointer toward ineffable. It points toward that which cannot be made into an object, because the moment it becomes an object, it is already something within thought. The moment we name it, define it, picture it, or imagine it, we have reduced it to a form that consciousness can hold. But the source of all forms cannot itself be merely another form. To call it infinite already places a word around it. To call it beyond everything still compares it with everything. To call it God can turn it into an idea standing before the mind. Even the highest description belittles what it attempts to reveal. This is why the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. Sometimes the closest we come to speaking of ineffable is to say nothing at all. God the Father and God the Son are not two competing realities. Symbolically, they express one reality revealing itself through relationship, the unmanifest and the manifest, the source and its expression, the unseen and the seen. Yet even these words are symbols. Reality is fractal in the way I perceive it. Every point carries the signature of the whole. Like a hologram, one fragment can still reveal the pattern of the complete image. I do not mean that every physical fragment literally contains every object in the universe. I mean that the same underlying order expresses itself through every level of reality. The stars resemble hair or whiskers extending from the body of the cosmos. The structures above echo structures below. Forms repeat, transform, and reflect one another. The whole speaks through the part, while the part never becomes separate from the whole. But even the image of a fractal can become another illusion if I mistake the symbol for what it represents. There is ultimately nothing to grasp. There is nothing that can be removed from reality, held outside it, and examined from a place beyond the whole. There is no independent hand capable of seizing existence from the outside. The observer is already within what is being observed. The thought is already within the reality being thought about. The question is already an expression of the mystery it seeks to understand. I sometimes confuse terms such as dark matter and dark energy because their names sound similar. Dark matter is the name scientists give to an unseen form of matter inferred largely through its gravitational effects upon galaxies and other cosmic structures. Dark energy is the name given to whatever appears to be associated with the accelerating expansion of the universe. They are not the same thing. Dark matter is used to explain additional gravitational influence. Dark energy is used to describe the apparent acceleration of cosmic expansion. I understand the difference when it is placed clearly before me, but the labels can disappear from my memory. The same thing happens with thermodynamics, the strong nuclear force and the weak nuclear force. The strong force helps bind quarks together and holds atomic nuclei together. The weak force is involved in certain forms of radioactive decay and in transformations between subatomic particles. I may forget the names, but forgetting a label does not mean the underlying idea has vanished from me. My mind often retains patterns and relationships more easily than terminology. That is why I need scientific explanations to be stated clearly without being presented as the only possible level of understanding. Science gives us disciplined models of what can be measured and tested. Philosophy examines the assumptions beneath those measurements. Symbolism explores relationships that numbers alone may not express. Mysticism approaches the boundary where language, thought, and division begin to fail. These are not necessarily enemies. They become enemies only when one claims the right to silence every other way of seeing. I want the scientific understanding. I need it. But I also need room to ask what the scientific description means, what assumptions it contains, and whether measurement alone can ever reveal what reality ultimately is. Size may be measurable, yet largeness and smallness arise through comparison. Sound may involve physical vibration, yet sound as heard requires experience. Smell may involve molecules and receptors, yet smell as known requires a living awareness. The universe may be described through matter, energy, forces, and space-time, yet every description still appears within consciousness. We cannot speak from nowhere. We cannot observe without participating. We cannot divide the part from the whole without first performing that division within thought. Perhaps reality is not a collection of separate objects occupying empty space. Perhaps it is one complete reality expressing itself through innumerable relationships. Every world is defined through the worlds around it. Every part carries the signature of the whole. Every observer belongs to what is observed. Every word points towards something it can never completely contain. And beyond every word, every image, every measurement, and every thought remains that which cannot be spoken. Nothing. Amen. Let it be so.